Mr. Speaker, this bill just assumes one thing.
Is the gentleman opposed to the motion?
Yes, sir, I am.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill assumes one simple thing, that regulators are not infallible. They're just people. We believe that the nation will not fall apart if Washington doesn't have more and more growing power. We believe that this nation became strong because the federal government had limited power. You see, I believe and we believe the American people aren't looking for much from us. They just want the unfunded mandates to stop. Someone in Washington decides they have a good idea, and suddenly everyone has to pay for their new good idea. It just seems obvious that before a major rule is put into place, the regulators should actually have a consultation with the people that will be affected to see if there's a better way to do the same thing. 3 years ago, I walked into this chamber. Many people know I don't come from a political background. I've served in churches where, of course, there are no politics. But I can tell you that the American people do not want this city to tell them what to do. They don't want this city to protect their rights and leave them alone. As a new representative, I was surprised that the vast majority of businesses that I interacted with, they didn't come to me asking for something. They came and said, how can you make this stop? Thousands of small regulations are coming out every day. In fact, I'm sure everyone read the Federal Register today. There's a new regulation that came out today that decreases the size of an orange. You cannot be an orange in America unless the Department of Agriculture tells you that you're an orange, and there's a new regulation today defining an orange. But there's also 330 major rules that have come out in the last few years that increase and have an economy of over $100 million each. The American people are fed up with Washington, not because we can get nothing done, but because we're already doing too much. Every day people wake up to a new regulation. They can't wait to read the Federal Registry to see what happened to their business and their life last night. The opposition to this bill seems to be a fear that it will make the governments work harder. Our fear is the government's already making the American people's work harder every single day. People are worried about how to be able to pay for things, and it's slowing down the economy. Every mandate that's passed, the economy slows down even more. In fact, CBO once again this year, just weeks ago, forecast again for the next 10-year forecast that the economy is continuing to slow down even more. Listen, the prevailing attitude in this town that Washington knows best has to stop. It is the responsibility of the states and the nations to carry out their wishes, not the responsibility of the states and the people to carry out the wishes of Washington, D.C. A lot of people all over this nation can make good decisions, and this perception that Washington's smarter than everyone else is absolutely not true. I come from a place that many in this town call flyover country. It may surprise you that planes actually land in flyover country, and when you get off the plane, do you know what you find? Smart people. People who balance their budgets, serve their neighbor, and love their kids. They're not helpless. Right when they finally get their budget or their family back in place and in balance, Washington has a new plan for their budget. When the President said in his State of the Union, a shift to a cleaner energy economy won't happen overnight. It will require tough choices along the way. Many people didn't realize those tough choices were on them. The energy company in my state producing electricity has a new regulation on them, and the compliance...
Gentleman's correct. Gentleman from Oklahoma may proceed.
Mr. Speaker, many people across America are finding out the tough choices that the President has stated have to come on America are coming actually on their budget. In my state, electricity prices are going up $1,500 per meter, simply because of a new aesthetic air quality regulation. Not dealing with health, just dealing with aesthetic air quality regulations by this administration. When families try to figure out their paycheck and why it's not going as far anymore, they should ask the question, why does gas cost more? Why does electricity cost more? Why does corn cost more? Why does beef cost more? Why does health care cost more? Why are local taxes going up and insurance costing more? It's not the evil capitalists on Wall Street. It's the ocean of new regulations that are taking every spare dime from Americans' budget because someone here in Washington thinks they know better. Listen, whether it's a farm or whether it's on an energy platform or whether it's this chamber that passed a bill 2 years ago straight down a party line vote that told every American that they could not pick the health care they wanted last year. They had to pick the one Washington approved. They couldn't have the same doctor. They had to pick one that Washington approved. They couldn't pay what they chose to because they wanted to go to the hospital that Washington chose. By the way, the costs are going to go up as well because Washington put a new tax on medical devices like a dental crown, a knee replacement, or a pacemaker. So right when they're getting hit with medical bills, they're also going to get hit with a new tax as well. What a great idea. The problem is this government has grown and grown over decades. It is time to turn this around. Now is the moment to give the American people back what they need back. That is freedom from the ongoing regulations.
Gentleman's time has expired.